Here we go.
Well, hello there. How is everyone? I hope you're all well. You amazing, beautiful, wonderful people. I hope you have an absolutely amazing day. Or if you're in the UK, that you've had an absolutely amazing day and have an absolutely amazing evening, as this is video 3 of 3. That's it. Have you seen the other 2? Have you? If not, you know what to do after this one. Go check them out. And in this video, we're talking about Huw Edwards. Now, I would say just the sheer mention of his name will get this video struck down like furious anger. And yeah, we may have to put some strict filtering on the comments. Not for me, just so that we can keep this video even available for people who have an inquisitive mind to inquire. But Huw Edwards, he is the BBC presenter who has been caught red-handed in one of the most atrocious acts that somebody can be caught in, and that is crimes against children. And look, there are levels to it, apparently, even though I would deem it all under the same umbrella. But there are ways in which they grade it from sort of, I don't know, C, being kind of not so bad, up to A, which is about as bad as it gets. And he was involved in A, as bad as it gets. And I hear the questions now. How much prison time did he get, Harsh? Especially my foreign friends overseas. You will probably be of the mindset, well, he's clearly gone to jail, and he's clear. Well, what did he get? He got a 6-month suspended sentence. That's it. And I suppose the argument here is, look, and what we're going to do is we're going to talk about it properly. And nothing that I say here means that I agree with anything, by the way. Nothing, I don't agree with this at all. And it's that age-old question. If I'd have done it, if Harsh would have been in exactly the same position, would Harsh have had the same punishment? And these questions are valid, especially in a time in the UK when we're seeing people imprisoned for posts on Facebook. That's correct. If you shout, "We're not," or "You're not English anymore" to police, you'll receive prison time. But if you target children, apparently you get a suspended prison sentence. But look, there are rules that the law has to follow. First of all, the question of he didn't go to Crown Court. The case was retained in Magistrates Court, which magistrate courts only have the power of a maximum of a 12-month prison term. It's actually 6 months for one offence, and if there's multiple offences that you're there for, then the maximum is 12 months that would run concurrently. And look, so the original issue was that it was retained by the magistrate court and it never went to Crown Court. So whether that was done strategically, that will be requested was that a thing? Did they retain it there because they knew if they retained it within the magistrate system, they knew that there was a constraint to the punishment? And then because of this, and the way that he would only get a specific maximum, there was other rules that the judge then has to follow. Did the person admit to the crime? Yes, he did. So then that time is then mandatory reducted down to whatever. It's a third, I think. So he would automatically get that off. And like I say, as you go through this legal process, there are things that then start boxing this and chipping and chopping away at it, and the rest is history. And then the final sort of boot, if you like, is the judge's ability to defer this, to suspend the sentence. And there are things that are taken into consideration. Is there a continued risk to the public? Is there remorse? Is there being steps put in place to make sure that this isn't going to happen again? But the issue that I have here is the bulk of the issue, and that is the difference between contrition and forced attrition, isn't it? Contrition, whereby someone is remorseful of their actions and they do what needs to be done to atone, to put things right. That is contrition, and is it contrition that we see with Huw Edwards? I would argue that's not the case. It's reminiscent to a scene that I saw in the film Seven. Awesome film, absolutely amazing film. If you've not seen the film Seven, go and see it. Kevin Spacey and Brad Pitt. And there is a scene in this where there is a guy, I believe he's a lawyer, and he is one of the victims, and there is some scales. And he's had to cut his own flesh to balance the scales, representing the balance of justice. And Brad Pitt talks about the difference in that between contrition and forced attrition, whereby somebody is placed into a situation where they have no option but to look at what they've done and put steps in place to remedy that. And when the world is watching and you are such a public figure, do you have any option but to give the perception? Because that's all it is, isn't it? You can have something in your mind that you are. Like, this was heavily kind of bracketed by mental health. And look, mental health is something that I feel is incredibly it isn't looked at in the UK. It's not dealt with properly. But the difference here is that many people suffer from mental health issues. Many people suffer from many of the things covered by the umbrella of mental health. It might be stress, it might be anxiety, it could be a multitude of things. But what you don't generally see is when someone is stressed because they're balancing paying their bills, eating food, or heating their house, or juggling between the 3 or 4 jobs that it takes to live in the UK because the pay is so poor and the bills are so high. They don't reach for the Kleenex and pictures of youths. But look, who are we? We're not inside the mind of Huw Edwards. We don't know what was going on there, but we do know that there was evidence to say that he was indeed speaking to someone. He was obtaining pictures, he was buying pictures, he was happy about it. Merry Christmas, as some of these pictures came in as a Christmas present. He was buying gifts. I think it was Nike trainers as well, as a thank you for the gifts. So look, ultimately the reason why he got a sentence the way he did is because the way in which the court system, the legal system works. There is sadly some situations where you can manipulate the system. I said that word again, manipulate, but magistrate versus Crown Court, it retained in magistrate court, offering a maximum of a certain time, which is then chipped away by the very things that Huw did in accordance with the law to chip away at that time, and then the final aforementioned judge deeming that there was contrition. What do you think? Was this genuine? Was this indeed contrition, or was it indeed forced attrition, as depicted in that film Seven? Do people of this nature really change? Do they indeed have the ability to flip that switch and they are no longer a risk to children? But I know what people are going to say now. I wonder if Huw Edwards is keeping his £300,000 pension that is funded by the good British people. Is that going to happen, or is there now going to be some proper punishment set in place? Because let's make no bones about it, the court system didn't impose any real punishment, did it? It didn't. Look, maybe he is in a way finished, but again, it was forced upon him because of who he is. But anybody can be sorry when they get caught, can't they? Anyway, I'll catch you all in the next one. Unless I'm removed for speaking about this, because that's also a very, very good possibility. Take care, and I'll see you all tomorrow, perhaps.